that they're asking about a political topic aimed at hurting Hillary Clinton politically, but not at discovering the important question: what went wrong that lost these 4 lives, and how do we prevent it in the future?
Chairman Trey Gowdy in the committee room right now, approaching the chair for the chairman, getting prepared for the testimony, the questioning that will be taking place in less than an hour in the Longworth House office building up on Capitol Hill, just steps away from the nation's capital, and that's where the hearing will take place. And expecting Hillary Clinton to be in that chair for 8 hours, Laney Davis. What do you make of that, the time that she'll be taking questions?
Excuse a little bit of humor here, but there was at one point during the debate where there was a break where a lot of the guys had a break from all the coffee. You can assume what the break was about. She was a little bit longer coming back. When she had a chance to comment, she said, you know, it takes us a little bit longer, which I think most females thought was funny. 8 hours is a long time. She's done it before. She'll do it again. I hope they give her a break. But this is what you're going to get from Hillary Clinton. You heard a prior viewer mention, what difference does it make? He knows that that comment was not about the death of 4 Americans. The reason he knows is that he reads, what difference does it make? We should be focused on the death of 4 Americans and why that happened, not who wrote the talking points. That's what the what difference does it make. Now, that viewer didn't knowingly mislead people by only saying, what difference does it make? I'm sure he didn't read the full context of what she said, because immediately after she said, what difference does it make? She said, we should be focusing on why these 4 Americans were killed. But I can tell you that Republicans intentionally take what difference does it make and stop there and then use it as if she's referring to the death of 4 Americans. Republican partisans of the Republican National Committee, people who put up ads, take that statement out of context. That's intentionally misleading people, and that's wrong.
What do you know about her preparations for today?
I don't know anything other than remembering how she studied in law school and how she's conducted herself over the years, and how she sometimes has warned me when I do television, stick with the facts and avoid your adjectives. She thinks I get carried away once in a while. She's right. But the way she approaches every issue since I've known her 46 years ago is facts, 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 facts. Do your homework, study hard, and then whatever happens, happens. And I can assure you she'll be well prepared today, like she was taking an exam at Yale Law School.
All right. Youngstown, Ohio. Ann, a Democrat. Good morning.
Good morning. Number one, I think Hillary Clinton did a great job as Secretary of State. This is really the only issue that they had to show for it. And number two, we lost 4,000-something troops over in Iraq, and Bush's brothers said it was a mistake. They never did an investigation on all that. And in deference, President Obama never opened an investigation of President Bush and where he got his information to take us to war. Now, 4,000 versus 6, any life important, but how they can waste money and, you know, even when they went after Bill Clinton, it was like watching an X-rated movie with Ken Starr. It was the most disgusting thing that I had ever heard or seen, and they don't care. They don't care if they are disgusting or despicable, and that's my opinion.
Okay, Ann. Mr. Davis.
Well, first of all, I appreciate your positive comments about Secretary Clinton, but I hate to see a Democrat and a loyalist to Secretary Clinton do the same thing to President Bush that you just said quite rightly was done to Bill Clinton in the bogus investigation of Whitewater, which led to nothing but led to headlines and hyper-frenzied media coverage, led to zero. Even the Ken Starr successor said there was nothing there regarding Whitewater and illegal conduct by the Clintons. So what you just said about President Bush was entirely unfair and untrue. Most people in the government, in the intelligence agencies for sure, in the Clinton White House as well as the Bush White House, believed that Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. I think the decision to go to war in Iraq was wrong, and I thought it at the time. But it's one thing to say it was wrong with the wisdom of hindsight. It's another thing to declare that George Bush did something intentionally to harm the country, and he did not. He sincerely believed that taking out Saddam Hussein, who possessed weapons of mass destruction, so he was told by the intelligence agencies, was a good thing. Turned out there were no weapons of mass destruction. All of us were misled. But I think it's better to say somebody is wrong than to impugn their motives, even if it's a president of another party.
We'll go to Peggy, who's our last in Charleston, West Virginia, independent, our last for Mr. Davis. Go ahead, Peggy.
Hi. I'm glad that last comment was just made, because I think it's interesting that you allude to the CIA and all the information that they fed to President Bush as being misleading, but in this instance, where all the information from the intelligence was misleading, where nobody's saying, oh, the CIA lied, the CIA lied. Well, clearly they're lying. In my opinion, they're lying. How can all the people on the ground have the same story, but the people at the top do not? I understand your passion and your admiration for Hillary Clinton, but when you take a woman who has been surrounded by controversy since Nixon days and stand up there and staunchly defend her when they are still just now receiving emails that she hid or deleted or stashed away on a server and said she didn't have, how can you say this investigation shouldn't be ongoing when they're still uncovering documents?
Okay, well, first of all, again, I respect your opinion. There's some emotion in your opinion, and I respect that. But it's one thing to have an opinion. It's another thing to ignore facts that might influence your opinion. So the first fact that you ignored is that when you say that the intelligence agencies lied, these are hardworking, patriotic people who are trying to save our life by anticipating the next 9/11. If they get something wrong, it's because they have multiple sources on the ground here in Washington and probably up in the atmosphere who are trying to get something right. So if they got something wrong, that's different than saying they lied. If you don't know the difference between a lie and a mistake, then I feel sorry that you use the word lie so loosely, because that's an intentional misrepresentation. And to suggest the CIA did anything intentional, in my opinion, unfair. Secondly, we'll just have to stay with the facts rather than your emotions. You mentioned about all her controversy. I'm sure you would include 8 years of controversy about Whitewater, $70 million, headlines, breathless attacks about scandal, scandal, scandal in the Clinton White House. But then you forget to name a fact, which is Ken Starr's successor found no wrongdoing by the Clintons regarding Whitewater. Don't omit a fact while you state an opinion, because then I think you're fooling yourself. I know you're sincere, but it is an absolute fact that all of the smoke about Benghazi and attacks on Hillary Clinton have been contradicted by Republican committee chairmen. You omitted that fact, and if there are new emails that were omitted by the Republicans on the Armed Services Committee and the House Intelligence Committee that shed new light, and the Accountability Review Board, and that was Thomas Pickering and Admiral Mullen, not Democrats and not partisans, but professionals. One a military decorated hero, the other a UN ambassador under the first President Bush. If they didn't get it all and we get something new out of Gowdy, I will certainly be glad if that can prevent future Benghazis. But please, respecting your emotions, understand that you omit facts in your own mind to convince you of things, and those facts may actually open your mind and lead you to another opinion.
Lanny Davis, former White House special counsel in the Clinton administration and a longtime friend of Hillary Clinton. Thank you, sir, for